Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. And this one is requested by me, actually, another one of mine. We've had quite a few trips to the coast in one way or another. We've been to Stranraer, Portsmouth, Ipswich, seaside towns, Brighton. I'm sure there was Morecambe quite recently. So I figured we'll do another one. Visits to the seaside have been pretty much the mainstay of British holidays since the Victorian times. And this particular trip is one that certainly dates back that far. So we are going from London. We'll actually be starting at London Blackfriars, and we are off for a day trip to Margate. So in fact, because of that, I will set the time a little bit earlier. So yeah, 9:30. So it's summer and yeah, completely clear, perfect conditions for heading to the seafront. So yep, London to Margate. But we are going back in time quite a bit. Not quite to the Victorian era, but it's not going to feel that much outside it. Because the loco that we are taking is the Class 402, aka the HAL, and this is one of the earliest electric trains to have been built. So yes, everything is all set. Let's get the game up and running. And here we are. So let's take a look at an exterior view. So it is a two-car train. I believe all of the Class 402s were just two-car trains. Unfortunately, there are no Class 402s left. None of them survived the scrapyard, so you won't find them on any heritage railways or any rail tours. Yep, they've all gone, so there's no way of sort of being able to check any sort of old images of them. So let's get the thing set up, which is really not going to take a hell of a lot of doing. There is no AWS system on the 402 of any kind. So we've got to really keep our eyes open as far as signals and that go. As far as the the cab interior, yeah, state of the art, it ain't. This is it. And the front view, alright, it's not great, but it's still better than the Class 156 from a couple of videos back. So yes, so the journey from London Blackfriars to Margate is just shy of 74 miles. So let's get underway. Actually no, before we do that, we'll get the old doors open ready for any other passengers wanting to get on. There may even be some wanting to get off. If they see me getting in here behind the controls, I wouldn't blame them for getting off here. It looks like the schedule is for an hour and 40 minutes. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to shave some of that time off. We will make a couple of stops along the way. So just wait for the brakes to, yep, come down. There we go. Let's get a move on. So we will stop at the next station, which will be Elephant and Castle, so we can pick up any more Londoners who are wanting to make their way to the seaside. I do like the sounds of this thing. It really does sound like, you know, it's an old style electric motor that is yeah, picking up its power from outside. So the Class 402 first entered service in 1930. Now it's either 1938 or 1936. So we enter a 30 mph section. So yeah, not only is it one of the oldest electric locos, it's certainly got to be the oldest electric multiple unit, because multiple units were not hugely popular. They really did like, you know, prefer locos and that to multiple units. We're now in a 40 mph section, and we will very soon be in a 50 mph section, but we do have, say, the Elephant and Castle, which we are stopping at, coming up any second. So yeah, it is certainly the oldest electric multiple unit, and is also certainly the oldest electric train to get its power from the third rail, not from overhead cables. So there were a lot of firsts where this loco was concerned. So Elephant and Castle is coming up, and basically once we leave this station we will be able to do 60 mph, and I very much suspect that 60 mph is the limit this thing can do. And, yeah, considering this thing was, you know, running in the late 30s, I think 60 mph is not bad going. Okay, so here we are at Elephant and Castle. Does anyone know if the Elephant and Castle is still bright pink? That's one. I mean, it's been a long time since I was last there, so I don't know if they have like repainted it. But fuck me, it needed to. Whoever came up with the idea of the bright pink colour for it, Jesus Christ. Right. Let the brakes come off. Bang it straight into series. We don't need a shunt to get a start on this. In fact, it's fair to say that the controls on this thing are properly good, assuming that they have been simulated well. Because you look at the Class 73 that I drove a few videos back, where if you stuck it straight in a weak field, you know, if the resistors were still going, the thing would just shut down. But this, you can put it in a weak field any time you like. Now, so I'm no expert when it comes to, you know, electricity, so I don't know if this is because this thing is using DC through the third rail. It's, what is it, 700 volts DC, isn't it, the third rail? Overhead is 25 kilovolts, but AC. So maybe, yeah, the weak field thing. Mind you, actually no, because the Class 73 uses third rail DC. So no, it can't be that. Yeah, we're about to pass what's left of Camberwell Station, which is basically just this sort of, yeah, pile of rubble in the middle of the rails. That's what's left of Camberwell. So I believe Loughborough Station is the next one. Yeah, Loughborough Junction there. Yeah, we'll stop at Loughborough Junction. So we'll coast for a bit. We'll stop at Herne Hill as well. So, you know, we're still getting the London holidaymakers all on board. Way too far away to even think about braking yet. Yeah, we're still only we're just shy of half a mile away from it. Yeah, I've slowed down way too much for this stop. I still can't even see the station. I think it's just coming into view now. I don't need to be braking at 70%. But I do think I need to brake more than 40. 70% it is. Yeah, that's far too much. That'll do. Right, so here we are then at Loughborough Junction. I can imagine the last time this train was running, you didn't have the Shard there in the background. Anyway, that was a short stop. Let the brakes come off fully. There we go. So we will stop at, what was it, Herne Hill, wasn't it, next? It's very close by. So we have a speed reduction to 45 mph before we arrive at that station. But it is pretty much as soon as we get there. So yeah, it is Herne Hill. So I think we can stop accelerating when we're about a third of a mile away, which is now. And yeah, we certainly don't need a brake for the speed reduction because we hadn't got that close to 45. I'm still braking far too early. I just cannot get the hang of braking distances. Compared to a lot of London stations, Herne Hill looks quite open. So it's not a station that I've ever used before, so... So here we are with what looks like a class 377 next to us. That train does not look like it's going anywhere. Okay, brakes off, and away we go. Yeah, it is quite slow to get underway from a standing start, this thing. But again, considering the age of it, it's doing rather well to move at all. We're just about to enter a 20 mph section, which I hope won't last very long. Okay, we're on a 1 in 132 upward gradient, which would also explain why our acceleration was so slow. I mean, the rate we're going, actually no, I was going to say we might be able to do 60 before we, well, actually we're now in a 45 mph section, so yeah, we're fine now. Let's bug it straight in a wheat field and yeah, really start moving. Now the route we're on, okay, yeah, we'll stop at West Dulwich. Bit of a snobby part of London, Dulwich. My last girlfriend was from there. Yeah. Mind you, even though Dulwich is a bit of a snobby area, she certainly wasn't. Start coasting and then we'll start braking about quarter of a mile. I'm not going to brake too hard, I say, as I put it in a 40%. So I think, right, Sydenham Hill will be the last one as far as the London stations will be stopping at. I might stop at Orpington. I mean, some people consider Orpington to be London. I still think of it as Kent. But I'm assuming that the route we're on is going to take us through Orpington. I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I mean, bearing in mind that this is not a particularly large train, there's only 2 carriages, so I can't make too many stops to let people on, because yeah, there's not a hell of a lot of room. Yeah, that is West Dulwich. Off we go. Wow, we're on a 1 in 101. Yeah, no wonder it is taking a really long time to shift from here. Okay, we even started going backwards as I released the brakes, which is definitely not a good thing. So Sydenham Hill will be the last London stop. Then we'll skip a few of them. Not even doing 30 yet, so I certainly don't need to worry about slowing down for this station yet. So it's just before that tunnel that we can see, so let's the fact we're still on this 1 in 101 gradient is going to help slow us down quite a bit, in fact far too much. Yeah, so, right, Sydenham Hill. Pulling away from here is going to take a bit of doing, but yeah, I'm not sorry that it was a slow, or rather a quick stop. So I'm hoping we will be able to, yeah, not roll back as a result of me putting power on before the brakes had come off. So we're into parallel and we are still just like barely moving. So trying to start on this 1 in 101 gradient is not doing this train too many favours, but we are underway. So let's shove it in the Wakefield. This is a fair length tunnel, I think. So we got about a mile before we come out the other side. Right, so we're not going to be stopping at Penge East. Or Kent House, and they're so close to each other. Yeah, we'll skip them both. Now, I keep forgetting there's no AWS on this thing. I keep wondering where the you know, the ping sound is, or the bell, as we go or as we approach signals. Of course, yeah, there isn't one. So I'm hoping that there are no yellow or red signals that we are approaching, because I get no advance warning of any kind. So we're now on a downhill 1 in 102, basically the other side of Sydenham Hill. Oh, did not, wasn't paying any attention. Didn't realise that we were even had the possibility of speeding in this thing. Beckenham Junction next. We can, yeah, so we'll just go straight through that. We're now on an uphill section. Let's try and get us to 60 again. So this is Beckenham Junction. We'll just head straight through this one. We'll also go straight through Shortlands. I think this uphill section is going to, yeah, it's certainly hampered our acceleration. Yeah, we're now on a 1 in 95. Certainly losing speed here at a fair rate, but we will certainly gain it back as we head over the pinnacle. There we are. So now we are heading downhill, and this is 1 in 95 as well. I'm very surprised that we are not gaining speed as I put it in the coast. In fact, we are still losing speed at a very slow rate. Anyway, so this is Shortlands that we are now heading through. Bromley South is the next station, which confirms we are certainly in Kent now. So this looks like, yeah, we're on a 1 in 100 uphill section. So yeah, we are still losing speed. Let's put in a wheat field, see if this helps. Well, we're not losing speed at quite the same rate, but we are still, yeah, slowing. So that's Bromley South that we have just gone through. Bickley coming up, still on this same uphill section. I mean, we're fast approaching doing 10 mile an hour below the maximum speed. My ICOS needs recharging. So for the meantime, it's back to normal fags. So this is Bickley. So in just over 1.5 miles we can, well the speed limit increase anyway goes up to 90 mph. At the moment we are just about doing 52, and yeah, I've got it in yeah, full throttle. We're in wheat field. So all of these gradients are really giving this this old train a bit of a workout. But you know, 1930s technology. I think just the fact that we will be able to actually get the Margate in this thing will be impressive. I do think it's a real shame that there are no 402s left. I'd love to see one in real life, or even just see, like, you know, some video footage of one of these things going. But yeah, there isn't even video footage of the things. So we've got our speed back up to just under 60. In fact, we're now at 60. So we'll go down the parallel, so we're not accelerating quite so quickly. In fact, I'll put it in a series, and hopefully, actually no, I'm going to have to put it in shunt, just to make sure that, yeah, we're not speeding as we now enter the 90 mph section. So now we can go full whack. I mean, I think we are pretty close to max speed that this thing will do. We'll certainly find out on this downhill section here as we approach St Mary Cray station. Again, we're not stopping there. Margate is now 60 miles away. I wonder how much of this speed is down to us going downhill rather than the actual power that the motor has. I mean, I can't see anything that tells us what the max speed of this thing is. So we have a max speed decrease in just over 1.5 miles to 75 mph, but considering that even while going downhill we never got as fast as that, this is a speed decrease that is not going to affect us in any way, shape or form. So that speed decrease is for Swanley station. Again, we'll just go straight on through it. Looks like this route is not taking us through Orpington, because I think we've left Orpington a long way back by now. That's the Morpeth board warning us about it, and of course it would have set the AWS off if we had it on here. So if you're one of those players who hates the AWS or the driver vigilance system, this is certainly the train for you, because yeah, neither of them are on this thing. So that's us through Swanley. So we're now downhill again, another 1 in 100. So I thought this area would be fairly flat. I'm really surprised at how many hills there are around here, and they're all pretty bloody steep as well. Let's get some exterior shots, as we are now well into the Kent countryside. I mean, let's be honest, right? It's no Scottish Highlands, but it still does look fucking good. So, Farningham Road is the next station. Won't bother with that one. So we're up to 70 mph. I think we are certainly being helped by this 1 in 100 downhill section. I don't think we would be gaining any more speed if we were running flat, you know, on flat ground. So here is Farningham Road. Now, of course, there's me saying about these trains started operating in 1938, but of course they did not have this livery back then. It was, well, it wasn't even British Railways green when they started. It was, I'm not actually sure which of the rail companies it was that introduced it. I think it might have been LNER. So it would have been, yeah, LNER green. Which does also mean that this train did not do the route that we are currently on. So we're losing speed at quite a rate here. We were doing over 70, we're now doing less than 60. So Longfield is the next station in just shy of 1.5 miles. I don't think I'm ever going to actually get used to the lack of AWS on this thing, because throughout this whole trip I've had my fingers over the Q and E keys ready for it, and of course it's never coming. So that speed reduction doesn't apply to us. So we are gaining speed again, even though we are going uphill. It is only a 1 in 660. We are certainly going to start losing hill when we hit this area here, just after the station here. So here we are at Longfield Station. So that is on flat ground, but yeah, we are certainly not on flat ground now. We're back on another 1 in 100. And this looks like it goes on for close to 1.5 miles, so we are certainly going to lose a fair bit of speed during this stretch of the journey. And Margate is now 50 miles away. So Mirafan is the next station. I recognise that from one of my other Kent routes. I think it's on the Faversham high speed route, which means a lot of the times I've gone through there in one of those fucking hateful 395s. I would rather drive one of these 402s here than a 395. I hate those things. We are really slowing down here, so we're down to below 53. I mean, we are on a 1 in 90 now, so hopefully we will pick up a bit of speed now that we're on another downhill section, 1 in 100. Yeah, speed is going up at a really good rate. So we have a 70 mph speed reduction as we leave Mirafan station. There is a faint possibility that we may need to reduce speed for that. But the 75 section afterwards we certainly won't need to, not least because we will be going uphill again there. Okay, looking at the rate that our speed is increasing now, we've got nothing to worry about as far as that 70 mph limit goes. So here we are at Meartham station. The next station, which is Sol Street, is only, well, it's not even a mile down the line. So we're into the 70 mph section, and yeah, we really have got nothing to worry about at all. It's also quite a short section. So yeah, the limit is now back up to 75. I'm sure keeping this thing in Wakefield for this long is not really doing the electric motors too many favours. So we'll go through Sol Street here. Now we've got quite a long downhill section coming up, so I'm going to coast some of this. We should still gain speed, I say, and we are actually losing it. Once we hit the bottom, or if we lose too much speed, we'll put the engines back in again. Some more outdoor shots. Seeing a huge amount. So we are still losing speed, but not at much of a rate. Once it reaches 60, I'll start. I'll put the engines back on again. But I am quite surprised that the speed has been going down since we started this downhill section. I'd have thought 1 in 100 we would definitely at the very least maintain our speed, or certainly not lose any. Right, let's start speeding up again. Got 75 limit here. Uh, 68 certainly seems above, yeah, the speed that this thing tops out at, because we're now on flat ground, but our speed is coming down. So those occasions where we were doing 70 mph, yeah, certainly not typical of this thing. So we got 30 mph speed limit going up in about a mile and a third. I can't see on the route planner what that is for. But the fact that it is such a speed reduction. I can only assume there is a fairly tight curve around there somewhere. No, it can't be just for a curve, because look how long that section is. So Rochester Station coming up. Okay, here we are, going to have to carry on braking for a bit. Well, hopefully whatever it is that's causing us to have to slow down this much is actually quite short, and yeah, there's a return to, well, at least 60 mph coming up fairly soon. It's just not marked on the HUD. At the very least, I hope it's not long after we pass through Rochester Station. Yeah, we'll stop at Rochester. Seeing as we're going this slowly, we might as well. It's still a mile away. Yeah, I can't even put it into shunt. Still, our speed is still increasing as you go through there. Okay, this curve is, yeah, certainly sharp enough to yeah, it's obvious why this is only 30 mph. Nope, started speeding. We aren't. Yeah, we're on a downhill section. That's why. So I'm assuming that is Rochester Castle up ahead. This must be the Medway that we are crossing. Let's pick up some of this speed we've lost. So here we are at Rochester. Yeah, it's taking us a lot longer to brake than I thought it would. Had to slam the brakes on much harder. So, here we are, Rochester in all its glory. Not the sort of scene I picture when I think of Kent. Brakes are going to take a little bit to come down. So they were able to do that quicker than I thought. Away we go. We are not going to bother stopping at Chatham because it's so close to Rochester here that I just don't see the point. No idea what these platforms here are all about. Oh, that was close. Very nearly speeding. So here we are at Chatham Station, so we just go straight through this one, and then once we emerge from the other side of the rather short tunnel, we will very soon be able to get our speed up to 50 mph and then 60. That one, the max speed increase to 60 just before we enter the next somewhat longer tunnel. We're into the 50 mph section. So Gillingham is the next station. We'll go through that one. We are now in a 60 mph max speed section. So yeah, us going through Gillingham should give us the chance to get ourselves yeah, at least somewhere approaching that 60 mph max. The 90 mph speed limit increases coming up in a mile and a quarter. That just basically means we will be able to go as fast as we like without yeah, without any kind of worries, but we're certainly not going to be hitting anything like 90 mph. me even to reach that 90 mph section without needing to ease off the power any. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we will. We are on a downhill slope, but I mean 1 in 825. It's making a very little difference indeed. No T left. It's just not on. Thankfully I have a little of this left. So we're into the 90 mph section. Absolutely fine. So now we can just see just how fast this thing can go. Except we're now on another downhill section. Roughly 1 in 500. I don't think that's going to make a hell of a lot of difference. So Rainham is the next station. Yeah, we'll stop there. It's on flat ground, so you know, being able to get up and running again from standstill won't be a headache like either of those uphill London stops. It looks like we're struggling to get to 62 mph, but I think we will get there. There we go. But I think 65 without help is going to be a bit beyond this thing. As it is, we are now going to have to ease down. Yeah, I think we braked a bit heavy there, but oh well. There was never any danger of you know, the train not getting on the platform in its entirety. So here we are at Rainham. I'm pretty sure one of my earlier videos had me starting at Rainham. So yeah, yes it did, but it wasn't this Rainham that he had in mind. But yeah, this is the only Rainham that I've got. Okay, onwards. It's this speed reduction or max speed reduction to 80 mph as we hit the end of the station is not going to be too much of a bother. So this looks like a passing loop. And if it is, I'm amazed that it hasn't sent us in there. We are surely the slowest thing on the Kent railway network. We have a further speed, max speed reduction in about 1.1 miles down to 70. Again, it's not going to affect us. That yellow, double yellow is on, yeah, that's for the line next to us. Ours is the green, so we're still fine. Single yellow now for that. Oh no, it is double yellow. No, it is single yellow. So anyone on that line, and clearly something is going to be holding you up. So, I don't know if Newington is a station or not, but anyway, we just had the option to drive straight through it. Couldn't stop there. We have max speed increase coming up. That'll really help. We really do with that. There we are. So we're now in an 80 mph section. Sittingbourne is the next station. We'll just go straight through that one. So we are actually losing speed despite the fact we're on a downhill section. Then again, we are also doing a lot faster than this thing tops out at. So this is Sittingbourne Station. So it looks like 65.2 is where, right, scrap that because we've lost more speed. Well, it's got to be like 64 point something, which is where this train will actually top out. Tainham is next. It's quite a minor station, I think. We'll go through that one. I'm not that fussed about stopping there. So, do I say that it looks like we no, I was just about to say we top out at 64.2 and then it lost another. And we are still going downhill, admittedly very, very slight downhill. Certainly I think to worry about those speed, max speed changes. So there is Tainham Station. It's a fair sized station, but there's nothing there. Oh, it looks like a pretty nice part of Kent, but yeah, the station was certainly nothing to write home about. So it looks like we are approaching an uphill section. In fact, I think we are already on it. But 1 in 292 is bugger all, but it clearly is getting steeper, especially as that 90 mph speed limit change appears. So Margate is now less than 25 miles away. Despite the fact that this train is a bit of an old crate, it's done a decent job on that. So on a 1 in 132, that will certainly slow us down. Well, even though it did, it really didn't slow us down by much at all. Well, In 1 3/4 miles we've got a speed reduction to 60, and we are going to actually have to act on that. Well, the way things are going, maybe we won't. So the next station is Faversham. We'll stop there. Now, we have a flashing yellow coming up. Now, what is that for? Well, I know what the flashing yellow is for, but I mean, where are we going to have to, where are we turning off? It must be this 30 after Faversham. So we'll have no problems as far as that turn off goes, because yeah, we're going to stop in Faversham anyway. So here is the second. So we're about to pass the AWS ramp, which would have triggered it if we had it. The full surface brakes on this thing are at just 50%. No wonder I keep braking too hard. So that red is for this line next to us. So that yellow must be for us, particularly as it looks like it's going to, say, turn us onto another line there. So here we are at Faversham, which I've seen plenty of times because this is part of the, in quotes, high speed route. Alright. All set, let's see then where this turning is going to take us. So I'll ignore this 60 and the 90 that's coming up, and we'll just treat it as 30 from the word go until we are, well, until our max speed, available speed there tells us otherwise. It's just a huge fucking great sea of points around here, so no idea which one we are going on. Okay, it's the very first one. So we're now onto a 50 section, so yeah, we can snap in a max again. And now into an 80 mph section, so yeah, we're all good. All looking rather flat around here. Maybe now we'll actually get some indication of what the top speed of this thing is unaided. Well, I'm pretty sure previously it was dropping our speed down from 62. So this thing needs to make its mind up. Uh, 65 mph section coming up in 1.5 miles. I very much doubt we'll need to take any action there. They say they are quite familiar sights in Kent. Don't know what the fuck happened there. So 65 mph section, and yeah, we don't have to act. Whitstable coming up, the former home of Peter Cushing, so we have got to stop there. 50 mph section fast approaching as well, so we'll start coasting now. I think with us only doing 50 right there, we're now on an uphill section, so we're now speeding. wondering why our brakes are suddenly so crap. So we're coming to Whitstable a lot faster than I would have planned on doing so, but I think we're going to be absolutely fine. Yeah, no problem at all. No, let's not take the brakes off just yet. So, here we are, Whitstable Station. And Margate is less than 15 miles away. Yeah, we're on a 1 in 101 uphill section again, so again we're having the same struggles getting started as we had back in those two London stations. I think we're somewhat safe as far as keeping below 70 before that speed limit change comes along. Yeah, we managed it, so yeah, we can now hit 70 absolutely fine. Chesterfield and Swalcliffe next station. We'll just go straight through that one. In fact, yeah, we'll just keep going now until Margate. Here is Chesterfield and Swalcliffe station. Aside from the platforms, which are a fair old length, there really was nothing there, so I can't imagine it being a particularly important stop. Herne Bay is the next station, so we'll just go through that. slowing down again once we are on the 101 uphill. So here is Herne Bay Station. We've got quite a few max speed changes coming up. The holes are like train of 4 of them, none of which are going to affect us in any way. In fact, yeah, we're on another 1 in 101 uphill climb, and we're losing speed at quite a rate as a result. So we are able to gain speed a bit now. We're on some flat ground, but we're really going to gain speed in a bit with this downhill section that we are approaching. Margate is now less than 10 miles away. Yeah, our speed is going up at a proper rate of knots now. So 1 in 100 downhill section. Certainly helping with the speed of this thing. We're now at the 70 mph. We would not be doing that if we were not going downhill. Just entered a 90 mph section. A bit optimistic to think we might have reached 90. Quite an open area here. Speed is coming down, but at such a slow rate it's not even worth, you know, thinking about. But we're only 5.5 miles to Margate now. I had no idea that on this run the final approach to Margate was in such an open, sort of like empty area. The next station is Birchington on Sea. Can't say I'm familiar with it. We'll just race through there, no problem. That must be the penultimate station, surely. Once we're through there, we're less than 3.5 miles from Margate. I can finally have my ICOS that I was going to have, what seems like an age ago. So here we are at Birchington on Sea, and yeah, absolutely bugger all here. Okay, so there's a bit of a station building there. Well, we have another station coming up, so Westgate on Sea, another one I'm not familiar with. But that must surely be the penultimate station. I mean, once we go through there, we have barely 1.5 miles to Margate. So we're up to 65.3 mph. So we are going to have to do something when that 60 mph section comes up. Now that's 30 and that 15 must be because it's the approach to Margate station. And it is. So, through Westgate on Sea. Be sure we can coast the rest of this. Unless I overdo the braking, which is highly likely. Is that single or double yellow? It doesn't really matter actually, because it's the last signal we're going to be passing through. Yeah, certainly overdid the braking there. But here we are. Just find a decent spot to stop. Somewhere right dead centre. We've got red signals ahead of us. Here we are. So that is Margate, and that was London Blackfriars to Margate in the old Class 402. If I'd chosen pretty much any other EMU, probably would have got there a lot quicker. But nevertheless, I thought that was a pretty good run. Loco I have not used for quite some time, and a route that I have not done before. So yeah, that was good stuff. Now let's see how we did. I know I was speeding on a few occasions. 3. So yeah, actually that is better than I thought. I didn't think it was only 3 times that I was speeding. So yeah, that was a good one. That I quite rate the route and the loco for that matter. So if you have any requests that you want to see as far as routes and stroke or trains, then click on the link in the description and bung your requests in the comments. Simple as that. Okay, we'll see you on the next one.